a wonderful panel discussion just a while ago, and I think that's a perfect segue for me to talk about Industry 4.0 now and beyond automation. So let's look at the challenges that we are seeing in the industry today. The world is facing huge social, economic, and environmental challenges. To create a sustainable future, manufacturing industries play a critical role. The global trends that are reshaping the manufacturing landscapes are customer-driven change, wherein customers expect smart products and solutions that fit their exact need at competitive prices and in different pricing models such as pay as you go or usage based. And we have been seeing that even in water filters and various other product categories. Ongoing disruption, I think we have been talking about this for quite some time, whether it is the COVID-induced disruption or it is the geopolitical tensions or these are the trade wars or the container shortages or the chip shortages, that definitely puts a significant pressure on the manufacturing as well as the supply chain. And that is why it becomes critical that the manufacturers are resilient and agile, quickly shifting production and resources and funds in a much more flexible way. The third trend that we are seeing is the changing business landscape. Specifically in a fluid environment, customers are becoming partners, partners are becoming competitors, and new competitors, markets, customers, and business models are appearing and evolving. And that's where manufacturers really need to redefine their core strengths and relationships and learn to create value in the industry value networks. And of course, not to forget, the focus on sustainability is increasing from the cost of capital being determined by the sustainability ratings, leading to increased regulatory and voluntary reporting requirements covering the different sustainability aspects such as inclusion, sourcing, and emissions. Now, this is impacting every process department and the extended value chain. And that's why delivering the tailor-made solutions at scale and as a service becomes absolutely important. Now, what we have been seeing is on one side, the CXOs grapple with how to increase the market share, create more shareholder value sustainably. On the other side, we see the head of manufacturing and supply chain who need to ensure that they are able to get the maximum out of the assets, reduce costs, and at the same time increase agility. And that's where manufacturers really need to pursue five strategic priorities, which is customer centricity and lot size one, that is putting the end customer's point of view at the center of every decision that is being taken or everything as an organization that you do in this digital age. This means providing solutions that precisely fit the needs of one single customer in a cost-effective way. And this requires the ability to capture the customer requirements effectively and enable mass customization to give customers exactly what they want. Then the other priority is around digital smart products and solutions. I briefly touched upon it in the previous slide when we were talking about newer business models, and the differentiation and specificity in the products stem from digital capabilities and value-added services that are bundled with the physical products. So we see a clear shift happening in the market, which is moving away from products to solutions. And by delivering and using digital capabilities, such as self-awareness of technical health and operational status or business system connectivity, manufacturers can truly differentiate themselves. The third priority, which is where we're going to spend most of our time today, is on the resilient supply networks and smart factory. Now, digital technology on the shop floor and in the supply chain is not new. It's been there for ages, and we have seen that in various shape and form. What is new is the way production and logistics are intelligently connected to the rest of the businesses and are able to deal with external impulses such as short-term demand and supply fluctuations or changes in the configuration of a customer order. And the other two priorities are around servitization and outcome-based business models and sustainability and circularity. So as I said, today we will be focusing more on the resilient supply networks and smart factory. Now, what you see here is to really achieve this, we need to start looking at the entire value chain and not really restrict ourselves with regards to what is happening inside the four walls of the factory. And the entire value chain starts all the way from R&D, which is how do you design your products, how do you capture your customer requirements, how are you able to increase the market share, how are you able to plan this, which is where the supply chain comes in, how are you able to take the customer requirements and manufacture it based upon the specific requirements of the customer, and then finally deliver it to the customer. And in a discrete environment, the aspect of services also come into the play. So our point of view here is that in the digital era, the intelligent and sustainable manufacturers would lead the way. Uh, What are some of the attributes of these enterprises? These attributes are real world awareness, intelligent decision making, flexible value chains, and sustainable operations. We need to look at all these aspects in totality and not really in isolation to truly get the maximum value out of it. And SAP possibly is the only company that delivers these critical capabilities across the value chain and can really help you transition from best practices to next practices to vertical edge. So when we talk about Industry 4.0 now, what are the strategic themes? Now, SAP has been working very aggressively on the various innovation strategies for Industry 4.0 now, and there is a reason why we call it as now, which I will touch upon in a brief while. So there are four strategic themes wherein we believe that we need to look at the entire value chain, that is from design to delivery, to really establish the digital thread. So the first theme that you see is intelligent products, wherein the products are designed to monitor and maximize performance over time while meeting customers' precise and unique configurations. Intelligent factories, which basically use data and intelligence to run as autonomously as possible while delivering both mass produced and individualized products at scale. And we in the previous panel discussion, we did talk about that we need to look at beyond automation, specifically when we are talking about the smart factory. uh, some of the key capabilities that we have delivered along with our customers are digital manufacturing on cloud and edge, supply to manufacturing with AGVs, robots, artificial intelligence in the manufacturing processes such as visual inspection and quality management, and modular production for different industries. And we will talk about the modular production briefly. The third theme is on the intelligent assets, wherein these assets are linked to each process and are dynamically maintained, helping come out with the right maintenance strategies to improve asset uptime and reduce the maintenance costs. And the fourth one is empowered people, wherein people are equipped with the tools and information that they need to do their best work. And in the previous panel discussion, Maulik did touch upon this aspect wherein he did say that don't ignore the people, empower them to make the decisions. Because at the end of the day, you need people who can look at the data, who can analyze the data and take the right decisions for you. And that's where people become extremely important when we talk about the Industry 4.0 now. Now, these strategic priorities are enabled and supported by SAP's Industry 4.0 now solutions and complemented by our partners and their technology offering. Now, before we get into the customer examples, we need to look at I want to basically introduce you to the concept of modular production. On the left-hand side, you see the traditional sequential assembly lines, which has worked well for mass production from the era of Henry Ford, but with limited flexibility. Now, any change in the product mix or introduction of newer products or launching new variants disrupts the line flow and calls for significant changes to the line design. And that's where we see that we really need to look at is this the best way to serve the lines. Now, hence manufacturers are actively looking at modular production, wherein traditional assembly lines are replaced by assembly cells to realize the customization at scale. The recent study done by BCG says that this calls for new organizational structure requiring ad hoc and real-time decision making, automated, highly flexible and adaptable efficient processes, and increased interoperability in the shop floor landscape. Now, while we have talked about the modular production, we need to understand what are the digital interventions that are required to achieve this. Is it still a concept, or do we really have digital capabilities that are required to support this? Some of the examples of those digital capabilities are around flexible material staging and production supply by AGV, since we are moving from the assembly line to the assembly cells. Dynamic routing of work in progress by the AGVs, and at every assembly cell, depending upon the work content of that workstation, you're going to have a variable processing time. And SAP has been working with customers to co-develop these capabilities, and the first version of the same was out recently. So let's look at some of the examples, and I would like to share with you three different examples here. The first example, what you see on the screen, is that of Chamberlain Group. which is a leading provider of access control solutions such as gate entry systems and garage door openers, etc. They have quite a large, complex, and vertically integrated shop with hundreds of work centers and operations ranging from metal stamping to injection molding to electronic manufacturing, all the way to the final assembly. So digitization in a facility like this is not a one size fits all environment. They embarked on the digitization project for automatic production reporting, machine monitoring using the IoT integration. They also invested significantly onto the visualization, which is how can we provide the dashboards in real time to the people so that they are able to make the decisions in real time, and also focused upon the digital and-ons. Now, with that, they were able to reduce operating costs and empower managers to respond more rapidly on changing supply demand. So, interesting example, and I'm sure a lot of us would be able to resonate with the kind of landscape what they had, which was a mix of automated and semi-automated environment. The second example I want to share is the story of one of the largest construction equipment OEM in Europe. And as part of their Factory for Tomorrow Digital Transformation initiative, their plant in Southeast Asia, they implemented a predictive maintenance solution for their shot blasting process, which is a very critical process in the manufacturing. Now, this plant specializes in the production of crawler excavators and wheeler excavators and their components as well. And what they did see was that the traditional monthly manual inspections and the maintenance for the shot blasting line at the plant wasn't really working well for them, because it was not enough to prevent the regular equipment breakdown, leading to multiple line stops. And you can imagine that in a manufacturing environment, a line stop causes significant ripple in the material flow, as well as losses with regards to the productivity. Now, what they did was that they used smart sensor technology and wireless communication to collect sensor data such as electric current, temperature, and vibration, which was then used to train machine learning model to establish the normal and the failure conditions of this shot blasting line. Now, with this, they were able to predict failure using condition monitoring, that is setting the acceptable thresholds, and anomaly detection, that is deviation from the normal behavior techniques. Now, this helped them to reduce maintenance cost and man hours on the shop floor. Now, there was one more offshoot of this use case, which was the team now had an increased understanding into data analysis, and they also had tested the success with this specific use case. Now, this really helped them to expand into other use cases. The final example that I want to share with you is that of Smart Press Shop. Smart Press Shop is a joint venture between Porsche and Schuler that produces the body panels for the automotive OEMs. They recently did set up a greenfield plant in Germany, and the key requirement for their digitization initiative was to be able to produce in smaller lot sizes while providing the maximum efficiency and flexibility for the automotive OEMs. The press tools were digitally connected to press, enabling fully autonomous setup process, allowing production of the smaller batches. Another interesting aspect was they started the implementation of the Industry 4.0 solution during COVID and went live a year back in Feb 21. The solution, barring automation, of course, was fully deployed in cloud, and they were able to achieve 100% traceability and quality with complete integration of shop floor to top floor. Now, let's look at a small AV on how they went about this journey.
Smart Press Shop is a joint venture between Porsche and Schuler. We want to produce automotive body parts in one of the world's smartest press plants. Smart Press Shop built a greenfield factory with cloud solutions from SAP, including core industry and platform capabilities, as the foundation for our Industry 4.0 initiative. We needed business and manufacturing systems that supported fully digital processes and complete paperless production. Working with implementation partner Syntax, we have business systems that are tightly integrated to an innovative manufacturing execution system. Our digitized manufacturing approach is a new milestone in automotive production. We have detailed component tracking that lets us use artificial intelligence techniques and cross-production analysis. This helps support our sustainability goals to minimize waste and reduce carbon footprint. Smart Press Shop also has fully automatic setup and press tool provisioning. This way we can deliver even small production batches and stay ahead of the competition. With SAP, Smart Press Shop built a better way to serve the automotive industry.
Great. So we saw three different examples of that are for brownfield plants, greenfield plants, and also about the predictive maintenance use case for the short blasting line. To know more about SAP Industry 4.0 offering, kindly visit the Industry 4.0 and SAP.com. We could also help you with the assessment of your company's Industry 4.0 maturity compared to the others in the industry, and see how can SAP help support and accelerate your transformation. Thanks for your time, and do not forget to visit our virtual booth. Thank you.